Hello and welcome to the 2016 US Open Golf Betting Show. Yes, collar and tie as per usual for the major championships, and the US Open this week at Oakmont Country Club. It's going to be an absolute cracker. There's thunder and lightning in the mix. There's fast Poa and newer greens, although they might not be quite as fast after Thursday. Um, there's a myriad of different players from all around the world. Of course, we've got three very short favourites in McIlroy, Jason Day, and Jordan Spieth. But we've got a fantastic supporting cast, any of them who could actually win the US Open. If you're new to the show, of course, subscribe button below the screen would be much appreciated. The subscriber numbers are going up every week. Thanks for that. Okay, and before I crack on, we've got it's a pack show. Long shots from Paul Williams and some alternative market bets. And of course, my main tips, predictor models, blah, 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 statistics. It's all available at Golf Betting System. So golfbettingsystem.co.uk, type golf betting tips, something of that ilk into a search engine of your choice and you'll find us. Okay. Bookmaker promotions. Let's highlight this at the top of the show. Got a fantastic deal with Betway at Golf Betting System website this week. Effectively, they're giving new customers a £5 or €5 if you're in the Republic. Free bet with no deposit required. That's right. So cover off Rory, cover off Jason Day. You could even cover off someone like Jim Furyk with a nice £2.50 or €2.50 each way bet on Jimbo, completely utilising Betway's own cash. Very generous of them. They're also going 6 places each way at this year's US Open. Only Boyle Sports actually have gone 5 places each way, which does make you think. So, it's an exclusive to Golf Betting System, so come to the website, sign up if you're a new customer, and you'll get a €5 or £5 free bet with Betway. Thanks to the guys at Betway for laying that on for us. If you're looking for other deals, there's a fantastic offer or 2 fantastic offers at the US Open this year for 7 places each way. I look back into the history books. No one has gone 7 places each way at the US Open since 2013, but both Coral and Paddy Power have gone 7 places each way, a fifth of the odds. So if you sign up by a Golf Betting System, of course, it's the Bet 10 get 30 deal with Paddy Power. And if you open up a Coral account by a Golf Betting System, you'll get the Bet 5 get 20 deal with Coral. So Coral and Paddy Power both going 7 places each way at the US Open. Okay, let's crack on. As I said, it's an absolutely packed show. I'm going to take you through this or the top 10 of my published predictor model for you. Okay, 10 is Jordan Spieth, 10 to 1, available with Betfred. 9 is Adam Scott, 33 to 1 with Sky Bet. Charles Schwartzel, very popular Schwartzel, does link in quite nicely. Schwartzel, of course, he won at Copperhead this year, and you do tend to get this at the US Open. Someone that wins this has done well at a course that's kind of similar beforehand. That was technical. Schwartzel 8 to 1 with Coral. That's a tempting price, isn't he? 7 is Ricky Fowler, 33 to 1 with Ladbrokes. 6 is Justin Rose, 28 to 1 with William Hill. And number 5 is Matt Kuchar, 45 to 1 with William Hill. I think the 45 is all gone now, so it's 40 to 1 top of the shop with Matt Kuchar. 4 is Henrik Stenson, 40 to 1 with Ladbrokes if you're quick. 3, Dustin Johnson, 16 to 1 with Paddy Power. 2, Jason Day, 15 to 2 with Bet365. And number 1 is Rory McIlroy, 15 to 2 with Bet365. It's interesting with Jason Day as well and Rory McIlroy. If I just tweak up the scrambling variable from its current setting of 4, say to 5, 6 or 7, all of a sudden Jason Day overtakes Rory McIlroy. So it's McIlroy, Day, Dustin Johnson. You won't be surprised by any of those 3 names. The only thing that does put me off Dustin Johnson is he's playing fantastic golf. He keeps getting into contention but never looking like winning. But it's his scrambling. His scrambling is absolutely shocking this year. And around here, if you're going to be eating 70% of greens in regulation, you're probably very close to the top of the category. And that means that 30% of the time you're going to be in some very, very thick, I think it's ryegrass, Kentucky bluegrass mixed with Poa Annua rough. And Justin's just going to hemorrhage bogeys. Now, they're all going to hemorrhage bogeys. It's just how many birdies you can get to counter that. Cabrera, when he won in 07, he wasn't a scrambling machine by any stretch of the imagination going into the event, but he had scrambled reasonably well in his previous outing at Wentworth. Dustin Johnson is at the bottom of the class pretty much week in, week out on scrambling, so that's my view on him. Of course, he'll win. So that's the top 3 of this week's predictor model. Of course, golf betting system, you can find your own value, come up with your own predictions as well. Just to make you aware, 11 is Benny Ann. 110 to 1 is a good price. Of course, Phil Mickelson, 12th, is in 12th. Sergio Garcia, I thought quite a lot about in 13th. Matsuyama, 14th. Jason Duffbag, 15th. And then you've got some other players further down. Russell Knox at 100 to 1. Leishman at 90 to 1. And then Lucas Glover, 400 to 1. Aniban Lahiri, 250s. Tim Wilkerson, 500 to 1s. You do get each and every year a shock, huge price that turns up right in the mix. It was Cameron Smith last year. I think he was something silly like 400 to 1. Okay. You've probably heard it all already, haven't you, in terms of Oakmont? It's got pure Poa Annua greens. A lot of stuff that I see out there is quoting strokes gained, positive numbers, Poa Annua, this, that and the other. But they actually include, a lot of them include courses where there's a mix of Poa Annua and bentgrass. And of course, that kind of, in a way, some players can play a mix of bentgrass and Poa, and then you throw them on Poa Annua greens and they're absolutely horrid. Absolutely horrid. They can't putt on them. It's very, very. It's a skill set that a lot of golfers struggle with, and Jordan Spieth has admitted on numerous occasions in a lot of interviews that he struggles on Poa Annua greens. That's not to suggest that you shouldn't be backing him. He has got top decent finishes at somewhere like Pebble Beach. However, he has admitted he does struggle, and although this isn't these kind of fast greens at Oakmont, they're big greens. They're very, very fast. I mean, there is weather hitting Wednesday night into Thursday. It looks like, to me, looking at some weather forecasts, that Thursday, at the very least, is going to see interrupted play. It could be washed out altogether. Now, if you're getting 1.5, 2 inches of rain hitting that golf course, it's going to make some tangible differences to it. That's absolutely clear. I mean, it's absolutely hammering down here at the moment in the UK. If looking out the window, if I see this kind of weather hitting Oakmont on Thursday, those greens will soften very, very quickly. It's that type of year, isn't it? It's a bit of a lottery. Soft golf course. All of a sudden, you've got Phil Mickelson really in the mix, Rory McIlroy in the mix, Jason Day in the mix. Spieth can play soft golf courses. There's a whole list of people. You know, Ricky Fowler's good on soft golf courses. But the fact of the matter is that the rain is only going to be on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it looks like the course is going to bake. There's a little bit of breeze Friday and Saturday that will make it tougher. But you can almost see it being kind of TP Sawgrass, where, unbeknownst to virtually everyone, the greens were really, really soft. I think it was the fact that they're going to put new green surfaces, and they kind of, to keep them anywhere close to being acceptable, they had to put a lot of watering down on the course on the build-up. And then Saturday and Sunday, they let the course go and the greens got really, really fast. Jason Day had detached himself. See you later. Game over. So you might see a similar kind of thing this year. It's just trying to work out who those guys are going to be that can get out front and potentially put a little bit of daylight between them and the rest of the field. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to go for players potentially who are decent starters, decent first-round starters. That could really pay dividends this week. Okay, Paul's long shots, of course, golfbettingsystem.co.uk. He has gone for, and I must say, I like both of these. They're not massive long shots, but they're good quality players at triple digits. Both with Bet365. Russell Knox, half a point each way, 100 to 1 Bet365. Knox was second to Rory McIlroy at the K Club a few weeks ago on pure Poa Annua greens. And another one, Chris Wood, who I must say I do like the look of Wood, because when Cabrera won in 07, he played very well and had a great all-round game at Wentworth. Now, I know the course has changed, blah, 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 but Chris Wood played really well, of course, to win the BMW PGA. Why he played in Austria last week? Well, he's a man of his word. He didn't actually think he was going to make the US Open. He's played in Austria. He's going to fly out there with Wiesberger and the rest. But half a point each way, 150 to 1. You just get the feeling that someone that's got a couple of top fives at very brutal Open Championship courses will go well at Oakmont. So Chris Wood, half a point each way, 150. Russell Knox, half a point each way, 100 to 1. Both with Bet365. First round leader market, fast starts, what I was talking about a minute ago. Shane Lowry, half a point each way, first round leader, 100 to 1 with Stan James. David Toms, half a point each way, first round leader, 250 to 1 with Coral. Toms played here, has got a decent history around Merriam. And in the top 20 market, a little bit of Thomas Aiken, a point top 20 finish at 10 to 1 with Coral. He did very well at last year's Chambers Bay US Open. And again, fairways and greens, man. Thomas Aiken's your man. And Paul's also doubled him up with David Toms. Again, a point top 20 finish at 12 to 1. So Toms, both with Coral, 12 to 1. And Thomas Aiken, 10 to 1, top 20. Shane Lowry, half a point each way, first round leader, hundreds. David Toms, of course, he won at Akron last year. David Toms, half a point each way, first round leader, 250 to 1. And then Knox, half a point, 100 to 1. And Chris Wood, half a point each way, 150 to 1 in the overall markets. Okay. Now, on to my tips. You might want to turn off at this point, but I'll go through them with you. It's been a real pleasure pulling together the preview this week. A lot of information, it has to be said. Of course, golf betting tips, you'll find us, US Open tips, you'll find us on the internet. Now, I've gone for 4. I'll name a couple of players that came very close. Sergio Garcia at 45 to 1. If you look, I know Sergio's a rare winner. I know he's unlikely to ever win a major championship. And I know that when you put someone up like Sergio Garcia, you're open to guffawing of massive proportions. But when he does win, and when he's hitting lots of greens in regulation, as he did at the Byron Nelson a few weeks ago, you just look through his history, he always backs that up with a couple of tournaments when he's right in the mix. And we know from 2014, he was in Rory McIlroy's rearview mirror at the British Open. He then went to Akron where he was leading. Do you remember that round? He fired like 62 in the third round. It then hammered down with rain, soft golf course, and Rory came and took away the title. The point of the matter is that Garcia has some decent links. If you look at Angel Cabrera and Ernie Els on courses where he can play well. So 45 to 1 I thought was a decent price on Sergio Garcia. But ultimately, can you see Sergio winning? I think if it's an each way play, that's a decent bet for me on Sergio. I did like the look of Chris Wood. I also like the look of Matthew Fitzpatrick, but 66 to 1 was a little bit too short for me. I just get the feeling that Fitzpatrick, with that lovely tee to green game, won a few weeks ago in Sweden. He's been practicing on the Poa Annua greens in Brookline, in Boston. 4th in all round at Nordea. It all stacks up for me. So I could see Fitzpatrick going particularly well, but he's very young. Top 10 at the Augusta. And then that was on very fast greens. Once the wind stopped blowing on the Sunday, he came from, I know, off the pace, but he played like an absolute hero. JB Holmes is another one that finished very, very well on those undulating greens at Augusta. So I can see some real links with Augusta in here. I can see links with other courses like Bay Hill. Definitely, of course, Firestone, which features bent Poa Annua greens, tough and technical. TPC Boston as well. If you just look at Cabrera, you look at Els, they've done well at all of those courses. They both have. Also, even Harbour Town. That surprised me with Harbour Town. Tight, technical golf course. That kind of links in by the sea. But both Els and Angel Cabrera, for him to get a top 10 around Harbour Town, just showed you a kind of grinder. So I'm going for the following 4. You won't be surprised by the top guy. Jason Day, 3 points to win at 7 to 1. Won't even talk about that. Ricky Fowler, 1 3/4 points each way at 33 to 1 with Bet365. Just like the look of Fowler. No expectation. We know he can win a major championship. He's got all the game, a long driver, loves Poa Annua greens, plays well on tough golf courses. So Ricky Fowler, 3/4 of a point each way at 33 to 1. It was only a couple of starts ago. He finished 4th at Quail Hollow Classical. That was tough. I think Hahn won at a -8. So I can see Fowler going well. Poe and Newer Greens and Brandt Schnedeker are absolutely a match made in heaven. So I'm going 1.25 each way at 70 to 1 with Betfred, 6 places each way on Brandt Schnedeker. Fowler is also tipped up with Bet365 on that one, 5 places each way. And finally, I'm going Mark Leishman or Leishman, a point each way, 9 to 1 with Betfred. You know as well as I do, I've been on Leishman for quite a period or a number of tournaments recently. Take him out, you know he's going to do very, very well. So Leishman, a point each way at 90s, can play well on Poa. Schnedeker, 1.25 points each way, 70 to 1 with Betfred. Fowler, 1.75 points each way, 33 to 1 with Bet36. Jason Day, 3 points to win, 7 to 1 with 8 Sport. Enjoy the US Open.